Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Anshu coming back with today's Hindu editorial. So today's 24 February 2025 we are going to cover the today's Hindu analysis where we cover the main front news, the editorials, the state relations, international relations and the sports news also. So let's start with the recap and see what we are going to cover. So the front page covering about the rescue team contact to trapped in a tunnel. Trump attacks USA again over India. Grant amid doubts over Doge charge. Second page is about the 32 Tamil Nadu fishermen held by SL Navy convene panel to find a permanent solution. And also one news about the Atishi elected LOP in Delhi says will hold the BJP to all promises. A picture here about the crowd in Mahakumbh and the going ending of the Mahakumbh at the 26th. Third is an editorial covering about the Indian industry need innovation, not mindless tolls. Fourth is the article is also related to same thing like a talent shortage, global challenge, Indian opportunities. Fifth one is about the new age of imperialism. Sixth article is about what has the SC previously ruled on gag order. Seventh article is about why the UGC cleared list of journals been discontinued. Eighth article is covering the USAID funded 7 projects in India in fiscal year 24 report and women achievers to take a charge of a PM social media account for a day. Ninth article is about the health ministry bans exports of drug containing tramadol and carisoprodol. XR creator hackathons throws open new opportunities for migrant aspirants, and the state news is about that Makhana will be the world's top superfood in future. Sivraj Chauhan tells Bihar farmers. And 10th one is about the King Kohli day out as India's cruise past Pakistan. So the front news about the rescue team yet contact workers trapped. So it's about the incident that happens yesterday, Nagarkul district of Telangana, where the 8 persons get stuck in that tunnel. And this is the news on the late Sunday evening, where the 8 persons trapped over 30 hours in the under constructions of a Nagarkul district of Telangana. So the 2 engineers, 2 technical staffers and 4 workers has been trapped in a 40 kilometer inside the Srisham left bank canal. Here the incident took place here the Srisham left bank canal of the Alimeti Madhava Reddy project since the Saturday morning, and there is a roof collapsed during the excavations with a tunnel boring machine. So this is a long efforts. Rescuers said 150 meters from the accident site and marked with the debris. So who is holding this operation? Like NDRF, National Disaster Response Force, an army, Srigali Collieries and the State Disaster Response Force, NHDL's personnel. These are handling these operations, and the situation is inside a skerry with a muck and other debris covering. So the debris covering almost entire tunnel, and there exercise and Torin's Jupeli Krishna Rao, who supervised the rescue operations from the deep inside the tunnel for several hours Sunday, and the bridge had covered entire 23-foot high and 31-foot wide tunnel. So this is continued on next page also, on 10th page. So moving to the next is about the Trump attacks USAID again over India's grant and amid doubts over Doge charge. So here's the USAID, international US Agency for International Development, and that was India alleged a grant of million of voter turnouts during the Indian elections. It was like $21 million. Here talking about there is a shift of 18 millions from $21. So the Department of Government Efficiency DOGE, headed by tech billionaire Elon Musk, put the figure on Feb 16, and Trump has referred to 5 occasions at the public event, but more and more questions are being raised about the veracity of allegations. They also help the other countries like it's Bangladesh and Bangladesh, Nepal. According to the grants, he reeled off the number of grants allocated. USAID according to Doge list, which included allegedly those of Bangladesh, Nepal, and other Asian African countries also. So there is a here we are giving money to India for elections. They don't need money. He needed. He added, they take advantages of us pretty good and one of highest tariff nations to 100% implementing it. So these are things that said by Trump. So there are a lot of money to help with them the elections, he said. So 19, he said, had a lot of respect for India, and the prime minister giving a 21 million for voter turnout was unacceptable, as India has a lot of more money. So US administration to get somebody elected, and we have to go to the tell Indian government that this is total breakthrough, he's added. So USAID had funded 7 projects in India in fiscal year 24 ministry. I've already covered, this news is covered in next page also. So we will read about a detailed discussion. So moving to the next is about, it's the 32 Tamil Nadu fishermen held by Sri Lankan Navy convened panel to find a permanent solution still. So here it's about the Tamil Nadu fishermen that were held by Sri Lankan Navy. So the 32 fishermen from Rameshwaram, Thandicham and nearby areas in Tamil Nadu, Ramthapuram district, were arrested by Sri Lankan Navy, on the charges of poaching in Park Strait in early hours of Sunday, and 5 trawlers were also seized. So the fisher official said they issued a 478 tokens. Fishermen at a Rameshwaram harbour on Saturday. Sorry for the inconvenience. So here, when they are fishing near a Manar, and Sri Lanka authorities arrested them and took them to naval base. So along with trawlers, the catch was also seized, and sources said that adding one of trawler belonged to Jesu Raja, a fisherman leader of Thangicham. So basically, the cases here is like the Indian Tamil Nadu fishermen went to the Sri Lankan border area, Park Strait, where they were escaped, where they tried to where they were held by the Sri Lankan Navy. So the trawler, that is a net, that is have a trawler is a net like area that is used for catching the fishes. So when they arrested the Tamil Nadu fishermen, so they just they seized their trawlers, and also, so there is a convicted name is Raja, that fisherman, a leader of Thangachum. So there is an indefinite strike about the protest of against the frequent arrest by Sri Lankan Navy. The decision was taken by emergency meeting Sunday that here the union and state government help us in our crisis. So the next course is that a fisherman leader in Rameshwaram told that Sri Lankan authorities had announced that they would sell 67 trawlers, and through a public auction, including 5 country boats and 62 mechanized boats seized by Navy. So they also seized the trawlers also and boats also, and they made the auctions, because the Tamil Nadu fishermen are rich comparison to the Sri Lankan fishermen. And if Sri Lankan fishermen came to the India's region, then they were warned by the Indian naval, but Sri Lankan don't want, they just seized their boats, and also that arrested the persons. So this is a there is a protest about 67 trawlers, including the 5 countries boats seized here. Sorry. So the reiterating his earlier request conveyed to working group to find a permanent solution to secure to release all the 32 arrested fishermen from Rameshwaram fishing boat, and the apprehension of Tamil Nadu fishermen, Sri Lankan Navy is still continuing spy. So there is a 119 fishermen and 16 boats have been apprehended by Sri Lankan Navy in 8 separate incidents. So his request is that this is especially crucial since the livelihood of fishermen families are impacted severely due to this apprehension. So Annamalai letter is the Tamil Nadu President K. Annamalai wrote the Jaisankar seeking the intervention in early repatriation of arrest of fishermen, and in the letter the disheartened that Sri Lankan Navy continued to detain Tamil fishermen in large numbers in recent time. BJP leaders added that family members of arrested fishermen are highly distressed. So there is just a letter to the Chief Minister, to the Foreign Affairs Minister, for the having a permanent solution to these Tamil Nadu fishermen, because they families facing a distress problems. So next is about the Atishi elected LOP in Delhi says will hold BJP to all its promises. So the Aam Aadmi Party on the Sunday unanimously elected LOP as leader of opposition is Atishi. Mrs. Atishi name was proposed by Sanjeev Jha, an MLA elected here. So the AAP national conveyor Arvind Kejriwal made all the MLAs elect and congratulated for Mrs. Atishi for being the chosen as a leader for legislature party. So when there is a state where there is a council of minister forms, there is also a leader of opposition. So Mrs. Atishi is chosen for that. At a central level also there is a leader of opposition is Rahul Gandhi. So the role in a democracy, a strong opposition plays a crucial role in democracy, and AAP will ensure that voices of people are effectively raised in assembly. So there is the opposition is now duty to ensure the promises that is fulfilled. And there is a cabinet meeting scheme of 2500 per woman to credential the first installment credited to March 8, and first cabinet meeting has already taken place. The BJP accountable to the AAP leader. Moving to the next editorial is about the Indian industry need innovation, not mindless toil. So the writer here is visiting So the writer visits with his friend to interview the migrant laborers, industrial workers in Ludhiana for a research project. So the workers there work for 10 to 12 hours. When orders were high, they worked for the days on end without a break. So here the shop floor, their working hours were spent almost entirely on cooking and puzzling and daily commute. So it is puzzling that some of well-known corporate leaders in the country have been urging Indians to work long hours, and this may not aware that India's workers are informal, and most of India's workers are informal and most extremely long hours sweating to earn to living a manual workers household helper. So there is other data that records here about the periodic labor force survey PFLS shows that only 21.7%, it's only a 21.7% of the Indian workers were with a regular job with a salary, while rest were casual workers or self-employed. So even with the category of regular workers, approximately half of them face informal working conditions, like they have a written job contracts, not eligible for paid leave, and do not receive any social security benefit. So competing with a cheap labor advantages. So here publicly expressing the preference of having long working hour, industries have not much discussed. In fact, industry continues to derive its competitive advantages mainly from cheap labor rather than technology innovations. So here the Marx wrote in its Wolfer Unger's hunger for surplus labor, capital oversteps even the physical maximum bounds of working day. It's still the time required for consumption of fresh air and sunlight is haggle over a mealtime. The working conditions, so there is a comparison of the different countries' working condition and their hours, number of hours they worked. Like in UK, conditions improved by middle 19th century following a regulation brought by labor union technology. So the today's worker in rich countries, there is a much fewer hours with a higher productivity than those in developing countries. Like according to the data reported of International Labour ILO in 2024, which seems that there is a 38 per hour US workers employ for 38 hours. So here the 38 hours, and in the United and in Japan its working hour is 36.6 hours, and India it's 46.7 hours. So the Indian capitalists have deployed one strategy one after ensure that they have their disposal largely. So there is a big businessman in India have adopted a structural safety industry from organized sector which is governed of regulation of wages and working condition in organized sectors. At any time there is also a crowded industrial area and competitor, and the industrial area organized sector like Ludhiana where the people's working for 10 to 12 hours continuously, several hundred of machines, milling, rolling machines, foundries operating in a small sheds, and each shed produces a small part of component that feed into production of network coordinated by many more prominent firms manufacture. So here the 70% of India's manufacturing are all on the contract base. Workforce are in small unregistered enterprises and each with 10 workers. So losing out innovations is that they are mutually enriching the kind of prospects in Japan, but instead been influenced with small firms. Like the issues relating to payments for a part, components they supply, the bigger firm typically deals with these payments, and they monitor the small firms owners desperate to fresh fund run to their factories. So basically they are cheap labor. If there is a machine will run, then they require the person who runs this machine, they operate machine and number of person. So in comparison to the machine, like using of machine, they uses the person, because in India the advantage is that there is a cheap labor that is available, and so that the big firms refuse to pay more parts despite increases material production later. So these are the like a bottom race to race bottom competition among small firms. So Indian factories are increasing dependent on workers who are employed through the contractors rather than directly employed. Of all, there is a India's factory sectors for 2011, 56% are contract workers, and out of these who are not protected by labor regulations are paid much lower wages. Their payment is lower wages rather than directly employed workers, and the workers who migrate from villages to seek in job distance land the core of the labor supply for Indian industry. So lower wages, migrant laborers receive or manifest their multiple disadvantages. Lack of ownership of assets, access to social security benefits. In COVID pandemic, in India's factory sector, profit share is value was added to 31.6%, and in 29, but shot upward, it's 46.42 in 2022. So the garment industry here, the cheap labor for growth, the Indian industry has been shooting itself in a foot, hindering its forward movement. The garment industry, one of the expect labor surplus India to outshine the countries in low wage industry, and there is a 3.1% of over, it's 3.1% over the last 2 decades. China, Bangladesh, Vietnam considerably outperformed India, where in Indian garment industry sorry. So the easy availability of labor, so easy availability of labor has lured India's industry into stupor, closing to his eyes to the wider opportunity and gapping the needer of technology and management changes. The undermined growth and the field including new generations such as IT sector, low wages, long working hour, reduce the purchasing capability and working classes and depress the domestic markets, reinforcing the negative momentum. So stretching the limits of working day, allowing little time for recuperation for tired minds and bodies, and having all the driven by the greeds for profit is inconceivable. And industry giants, and if there are any short run, in long run, swelling ranks of improvised worker will strangle the industry. Industry realizes this as a better. So these are the key terms that why the Indian industries, there is a no innovation in Indian industries, and there is not any productivity, but working for long hours and working with long hours with no innovations, and just working for there is a no allowing a recuperation for tired minds and body. So writer just concluding with this way forwarding. So moving to the next is about the fourth one, the talent shortage, global challenges and Indian opportunity. The article is also first article. It is also related to the same, the talent shortage, how the only the physical labor like manual labor just kills the productivity, and also the talent shortage. It's a global challenge opportunity. So here the about it's a labor market. The global market here do not seem to be future ready. So writer is telling that a recent FICI KMPG study, it's a global mobility Indian workforce that estimated that 2030, by 2030 the demand of skilled labor will exceed supply, leading to the talent shortage over 85.2, it's 85.2 million people. The global skills shortage would result in estimated 8.45 trillion in unrealized annual revenue by 2030. The requirement that is needed in the upcoming years will be not fulfilled if the condition is still with working only with the manual labors, not using the machines just for their own profit sake, for the so that the machine will, they don't require so much upgradations, anything to reduce their labor. How there is a shortage of labors, that we shortage of innovations that we needed in the upcoming years. So writer here is the global skill shortage could be result in 8.5 trillion unrealized annual revenue, equivalent to the combined GDP of Germany and Japan. The study says for India, the challenge opportunities to grab the slice of 8.45 trillion pie, and addressing to this challenge require a targeted strategy, international cooperation, proactive policy. So geographic regions and their demands. So the Gulf Operation Council is GCC. How many countries are included in it? It's Europe, including the United Kingdom and Australia, emerge as the three key geographies where workforce mobility will be critical. The talent is shortage will neither be uniform across all the regions nor follow the similar patterns. Each of these regions faces a specific workforce demand. Healthcare will be common requirement in all the three regions, with aging population, increasing healthcare needs, uh, driving demands. So in general, services will be prevalent in three geographies. Manufacturing and construction are pivotal for GCC and Australia, while the Europe, being the oldest post-industrial society, will require more service sector workers. So besides, there are emerging sector as in study across all these sectors, growing demand like skills pertaining to artificial intelligence, AI, big data, predictive analytics, IoT, Internet of Things, blockchain, management, resource efficiency, and sustainability. So these are those sectors where they demands the skill. Existing barriers and strategies. So there are several barriers that obstruct the efficient movement of skilled worker across the border. There are some regulatory and immigration barriers like complex visa processes, stringent work permits regulation, hinder skill migrations, recruitment malpractices, and trafficking, exploiting recruiting practices, and human trafficking that pose serious threat to migrant workers. So the Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlighted this menace and underlined the need to fight it. This become a self-dependence, Atmanirbhar Bharat. The Prime Minister, so the other obstructions including the policy barriers, skill mismatches, Indian degree, European leading to the unemployment of qualified professionals, including language proficiency, culture adaptation, affect of workforce efficiency. The government of India has initiated various programs to address this challenge, like bilateral agreements and FTA, free trade agreement, about when two countries work on same things, and there is also the free trade agreements. India has several agreements with GCC, its Gulf of Council, and the nations to protect the right of Indian workers, for instance. So the joint India United Arab Emirates vision recognizes the importance of skill cooperations. So the online recruitment system of focus, ensuring the legal protections and workers for shielding them for fraudster. So capitalize on local demand for the skilled labor. Several strategic measures should be prioritized, which including the sector specific skill training, emerging sector recruitment, and the qualifications for international collaborations must focus on mutual recognitions. So the public private partnership, government training program, global employment also. The political changes, climate regarding immigration policies ever changing, while European may tighten its regulation. So Indian advantages is that at any rate, strict immigration policies mainly target illegal migrations. India must remain resilient with efforts to the position its skilled workforce globally underrated by shifting political rhetoric. A major advantage for Indian worker is the absence of significant hostility toward India in most global markets. Even in the countries with a growing anti-immigration sentiment, skilled Indian workers continue to find opportunities. However, to maintain and essence this position, India government had taken a measure to curb illegal migration. Like the illegal migration, how the people, our Indian peoples that got defamed by illegal migrants, how USA is just defaming the. So this situation do not arises in India. India workers from exploitative agents, but also the India's global reputations as a reliable supplier of skilled laborers. So this will realize the dream of becoming Viksit Bharat. The chairman of 16th Finance, Arvind Pangadia, recently projected that India's GDP could reach to the 6.5 trillion and dollar and the 9 trillion dollar by 2030. So India's ability to move closer to the mark will estimately directly linked to how estimated realize the global economic potential. So moving to next is about new age of imperialism. So here the character asks about bankrupt. Gradually there is suddenly actually I'm not able to read this article with my own self, so I will cover it tomorrow. Next is about the why the SC previously ruled on gag order. So here the current case is about the India's Got Talent of Ranveer Lahbadia show. There the first information registered FIR against remark made on the YouTube show. So the bench comprising here the Justice Suryakant and Koteshwar imposed the condition of prohibiting Lahbadia and his associate from posting any content on social media until the further orders and him to surrender the passport to the police. So what was Allahabadia's plea that multiple FIR were registered against Allahabadi in Maharashtra, Assam, Rajasthan, three states were registered FIR against the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2003 Information Technology and is Indecent Representation of Women Provision Act, allegedly promoting obscenity and engaging in sexual split discussion. Consequently, he approached the Supreme Court seeking a consolidation of FIR, an interim order granting him protection from arrest. So, the application of Article 32 of the Constitution for enforcement of the fundamental rights and to shield the individual from arbitrary police actions. In such cases, court either club FIR or permit the investigation proceed under a single one while staying in the rest. So there is about the using of Article 32 that the case was investigated by so the his son, our former CGI Chansood sons. So the convicted accused served a common sentences. The Pratik Bansal versus Supreme Court of disbounced the practice of filing multiple FIRs. That same alleged offence recognizing as a tool for harassment, abuse of state measures. So it's the same that you cannot just use the same. You cannot use the same practices for the multiple times for the same cases like harassment and as a tool for abuse of state machinery. Here the Ellen Nageshwar Rao mooted establishment of body of US judicial panel. So the condition of interim relief is the cases are not statutorily prescribed. Instead, the judges have discretion of impose conditions. For same alleged offence, you cannot filing a multiple FIRs. So the three factors here: flight risk, intimated weakness, apprehension, tempering the evidence possibility, and relief interfere the investigation. So they impose the bail on conditions such as requiring the accused to deposit their passport, setting a high bail bond to ensure the participation in investigation. So in this case, different is that condition imposed on the Labadia show of YouTube audio visual mode of communication. Further orders constitute a gag order in free speech jurisprudence. This falls under doctrine of prior restraint, and the court has also constantly cautions against the prior restraint on speech, deeming that it impermissible except in exceptional circumstances. 2021. So condition for granting interim bail in criminal cases are not statutorily prescribed. Instead, judges have discretion to impose condition they necessary. Seventh article is about why the UGC Care List Journal has been discontinued. So what are the suggestive parameters introduced by University Grant Commission with respect to academic journal, and what will lead to the proliferation of low quality journals? So UGC decided to consortium the academic research ethics UGC Care List, replaced by the suggestive parameters, choosing the journal based on 8 criteria stockholder. So what is the new parameter? There is a 36 suggestive parameter under the 8 criteria. Suggestive parameter for peer-reviewed journal under the UC had asked the teachers to note the journal title, international standard, serial number, periodicity, continuing and transparency of review policy. So these are the parameters that was held by the UGC with respect to academic journals, and the UGC withdraw here is the only reputable journals are recognized by faculty sections. According to the UGC chairman M. Jagdish Kumar, UGC care list faces several criticism, including over-centralization in deciding constitute high-quality research journals, unnecessary delays. Academic also raises the concern that shortened field of Tamil Nadu, Tamil availability research, UGC care list, transparency in decision making, highly respected journals. So these are the claims. And what are the responses? The student and academic have voiced their concern with the latest move. So the main one is about decision will result in mushrooming the low quality journals and central executive officer. So moving to the next. 8th one is about USAID funded the 7 projects. India, the continuing to the first page. Here it is about the 750, currently 7 projects worth total 750 billion project were implemented in USAID partnership, where in the obligations 97 million about has been made under 7 projects is said. So here the efficiency of technology, Doge cancelled the 21 million grant India boost to voter turnout. So the processes of liars is anti-national work spreading the fake news for America. Next is women achievers to take a charge of PM social media account a day. So the Prime Minister in his monthly radio address Sunday that highlighted the contribution of women across all sectors. Mr. said that special occasion our Nari Shakti, in our culture respect for his daughter for has been paramount, and the Matri Shakti, another energy, is a country also played. So in Mann Ki Baat, Narendra Modi addresses the highlighted the contribution of women across all sectors. So on special occasion Matri Shakti, the country also played a big role in freedom struggle and creation of constitution. So the Hansa Mehta said that presenting our national flag in Constituent Assembly in her voice, he said before an audio club the freedom fighter speech was played. So Hansa Mehta ji brought the contribution of women all over the country, right from the making of national flag, sacrificing their life in sake. She was believed that saffron color in our tricolor also reflect the sentiments and express the confidence that women power would make it valuable contribution to the prosperous India. So there's a growth in space sector also, opportunities to recent advancement in space sector. So 460 satellites, including those where other countries will launch. Another important aspect is witness is patriarchy, that the participations of a women was constantly rising among our team in space, scientists said. Importance of AI also, like Kailash government school teacher example of, there is example of AI today, setting the examples here about the Kailash, Thodam Kailash, a government school teacher in Adilabad, Telangana, creates a digital music in Kolami language. The 15 years old shooter Gavni Autonomy year-old hammer thrower Anushka Yadav from Uttar Pradesh. So these are the examples of women that were contributing to their economy also for the India, and how social media is accounting there for a day. And also the Madhya Pradesh, Dev Kumar Meena from Madhya Pradesh proved that India's sporting future lies in the hand of very talented generations. In board examination, Mr. Modi wished the students well asked to appear for paper without any stress. So the positive spirits by him. So next is about the health ministry bans export of drug containing tapentadol and carisoprodol. So here the combination of drug containing the tapentadol and the carisoprodol by Averio Pharmaceuticals Mumbai in countries, the health ministry issued a stop activity order of immediate withdrawal of it's a non-objection certificates, NOC, and manufacturing license. So what is tapentadol? It is basically opioid medications that is used to treat a moderate severe pain. So what is the side effect is that carisoprodol is a muscle relaxant which works on centers of brain and spinal cord to relieve pain. Both the tapentadol and carisoprodol are individually approved by CDSO, Central Drug Administration. Tapentadol is approved at 50, 75 and 100 mg and 200 mg extended the release of tablet. However, the combination of terpentol and calpistridol is not approved in India. Neither of these drugs, including narcotic drugs of psychotropic substance (NPDS), is released that it release issued on ministry said ensure the regulatory compliance across the CDSO. So comprehensive audit is here. They joined the team. An authority apprehensive of finding from the audit led, and there is a 26 tablets capsule batches of APIs. Further, the Maharashtra FDA is on stop production of other Saturday. So XR creators of hackathon throws open opportunity for Midra aspirin. So here, despite the holding its X series X2 extended reality patents that struggle to find opportunity in industry, and XR creator hackathon organized under the broadcasting ministry waves. So basically the hackathons provided with him opportunity to present his ideas that it is hard for a conventional degrees to make it innovators like him. So XR Titans is developing a virtual reality of enabling the remote medical diagnosis and surgery using 3D magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, physiotherapy, painful, treated, expensive, and he is one of the view that can be transformed into interactive, expanse XR based gaming. So these are the professionals, freelancers, entrepreneurs, and academics to social workers from about 250 cities in 25 states. So next is about the sports news. So next is about the King Kohli day out as India cruises the past Pakistan. So it's a very, we have a very wonderful moment that finally King Kohli made a century and cruises the past Pakistan. With it's a good India must win trophy. That Pakistan was a home team for a must win encounter against India. And it's a blazing start, chasing the target of 242 skipper Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill led for the walk before the Kohli took a center stage. So it's a Pakistan only chance to make fight for it was early wickets. So these are the score, and it's a very proudful moment for us. So how we enjoy the India's Pakistan match yesterday. It's a very good moment for us. Finally waiting from the 2017, and we are finally saw the tomorrow this yesterday we got this moment to celebrate this. So finally ending the session with this, covering all important, maybe some articles I elaborated long and some in very brief. So with the spans of in the 30 minutes of ending the tutorial, so I've tried to do within a 40 minutes. Next time I will just giving a detailed analysis of everything behind the background stories also, and try to just give a overview what is in the article. So don't worry about it. Day by day I will improve it more. Thank you for staying last. Let's have a summary and ending the session. First is about the rescue team connect to the worker trapped in tunnel, and the Trump attacked the USA again over India against the doubts over dodgy charge. Second is about the 32 fishermen held by Sri Lankan Navy, and Nadishi elected as the LOP in Delhi says will hold VGP all its promises. Third is the articles about the Indian industry need innovations, not a mindless toil. Fourth article is about the talent shortage, a global challenge, India's opportunity. Fifth one is about the new age of imperialism. I have not discussed today. Tomorrow I will discuss it. No worries about it. Seventh is the SC previously ruled on gag orders. Eighth is about the USA funded 7 projects in India. The news related to the first front page. Women achievers to take charge in PM social media accounts for a day. Ninth is about the health ministry bans export of drug, and the I just left this news. Makhana will be the world top superfood in future. So Makhana boats is basically in Bihar. Just name some Makhana boats in Bihar like Darbhanga and Madhubani. Just remember some Makhana boats in Bihar, and largest contributor of the Makhanas here. So next 10th one is about the King Kohli day out as India cruised the Pakistan. So that's for today. Ending the session. Thank you for connecting, and if you're new to my channel, just subscribe to my channel. You will get all the updates of current affair also, and other motivations and live streaming. So stay tuned, and tomorrow we'll meet with a new editorial. Till now, thank you. Good night.